Hello, everybody. We are at Ocean City, Maryland, near the Ocean City beach, and we're going to be flying down to Accomac County in Virginia, on the peninsula, in the Antonov AN-2. We just about got her ready to start. What I need to do is prime it, get to it. There it is. Our pneumatic charge system, our proper position, and then down over here we want to our pressure. Okay. All the way up, back. Mixture set in the down position, which is the opposite in the United States. Fuel valve is full forward. So now what we're going to do is the charging starter. Hold it to, whoops, wait a minute. I got to make sure that almost blew that. Got to make sure that the starter is held to the left. We're going to wait for the charger to start turning. Waiting for some pressure to come up. Just barely showing an increase. We'll throw it over now. And we got a good start. Hooray. So we have hydraulic brakes on this bad girl. And so you have to be very careful with using the brakes because you can deplete the pressure and then you got to repressurize it. So I'm going to go ahead and taxi out to active. We'll head south. You know, I moved. Wow, that's cool. I usually don't do that. I usually get in your way. So the Atlantic beach is right straight in front of us, or the Atlantic Ocean. What we'll do is we'll go down to this end, take off eastbound. Want to go too fast in this car, she'll take off. It does not take much power to get this big monster of a biplane off the ground. An incredible airplane, incredible. The power that it has and the maneuverability for an old biplane. One of the biggest, that's for sure. We're using these things. Of course, they use them for everything, crop dusting, firefighting, transport up into the really remote areas of Russia, outer Mongolia, use them in China. So I gotta be careful with that brake. Can't use it too much. waited too long to turn it. That's all right. We'll get back on track. One notch of flaps in. One thing I will say about this airplane is the slats, forward slats, right up here, they move outwards when you're at certain low speeds. It becomes part of the flight characteristics for slow flight, slow airplanes. So you'll hear this popping a lot of times, and people don't know what that sound is. That's the slats moving forward. Okay, let's go ahead and go. You'll see, it doesn't take long to get her up. Flaps up.
Potomac approach Lotus Oscar, Kilo minus 9 or 6, is type Antonov, 1 mile south of Kilo Oscar, X-ray Bravo 600 feet. Request flight following.
Lotus Oscar, Kilo minus 9 or 6, Potomac approach. Squawk 0371.
Squawk 0371, Lotus Oscar, Kilo minus 9 or 6.
Lotus Oscar, Kilo minus 9 or 6, radar contact 1 mile south of Kilo Oscar, X-ray Bravo 1000 feet. Altimeter 29.9 2.
Roger, Lotus Oscar, Kilo minus 9 or 6.
Ocean City, Maryland, the beach resort. Pretty cool place during the summertime. Even a better place during the wintertime, because there's hardly anybody there. Move around all you want. In the summertime, that place gets packed. It's crazy. Take the control back from the AI. Doesn't seem to know where she is. That'd be pretty far off course. And bring the prop back a little bit. another one of the unique features of this aircraft. Well, there's a couple actually. There's a hatch on the rooftop. I don't know if they picked that in these. No, I don't think they did. No, they kind of do. There's a hatch right here. And what they do is at least in Russia, they'll open that hatch. They'll take everything out back, all the seats and stuff. They'll put mats and sacks and stuff like that on the floor, and they'll load this thing up with seed, tree seeds, grass seed, whatever. And they have a dispenser that they put underneath the plane, almost like you see when people are putting fertilizer on the ground. A little box you roll around and has a little blade on it that circulates the fertilizer. Well, same concept underneath the plane. They open the gate, the seed comes out, it gets dispersed underneath the aircraft, and they'll go out into the woods or to the fields, and they'll sow them with the seeds. Pretty cool operation to see. One of the safety features of the plane is if you lose power on the plane, I mean, she just completely shuts down on you, and you got to get down. They've proven this by a pilot who was ill, could not land the plane. He was able to get the plane trimmed out, full flaps, and just stalled it in, basically, to the ground. And the plane survived, instead of the pilot. So they did some testing on that maneuver, and this plane will, if you pull the power all the way back, pull the flaps all the way down, and the slats, forward edge, leading edge slats of the upper wing will kick out. It becomes very VTOL, very slow maneuver, let me put it that way. And the plane will just mush into the ground. Yeah, it does come in hard. I saw a video. It bounces pretty good, but it doesn't crash. So I always thought that was an amazing feature for such a big airplane. If you put this plane here next to a steerman, a PT-17 steerman, it makes the steerman look like a Piper Cub. It's that big. The thing is just not as big as you think that it looks, but when you're standing next to it or inside of it, especially in the cockpit, very roomy. My brother and myself both have been in one, and you could walk in there and stand completely straight up inside of it, and then in the cockpit there's really good room for two guys that are over 6'2" to sit in there and not be shoulder to shoulder. There's plenty of room in this cockpit, as you can see in here, very ample room. So I was pretty impressed because when you sit in a DC-3, two guys my size, my brother's size, it's amazing how jammed up you are. I mean, you're really crunched in. Check my map. I think I'm to the left of course. Yeah, I am. Been yakking. Let me get back on course here. This peninsula here goes all the way down to Chesepeake. Acetate is which we're over right now. And then farther down the beach is Chesepeake. And of course, Chesepeake is the famous place where the firemen always run the wild horses across the marsh, across this bay. They swim them across and they put them up for auction. It's their way of thinning out the feral horses on the island. that's down on the left. But we're basically heading toward Cape Charles, Virginia. Accomac County is down that way. In the back right quick, just to show you, the aircraft is pretty unique. This is your typical fuselage inside the cabin area of a AN-2. As you can see here, they got a jump line, static line hooked up for parachute. This is the cabin door. You can see these are not comfortable seats, but they're basic seats for just normal basic transportation. And in Russia, when they fly these up in the really northern resort areas of Russia, the brain cramp, Mongolia, outer Mongolia, they put usually different seats in here, but they're padded and stuff. And they will just load this door back here. I don't think I can go through this. Yeah. But there's a baggage area back there, and of course they put bags all along this floor. But they'll pack people in these things, and to make a 4 or 5 hour trip in the Arctic conditions up there, it's freeze your butt off. Because these are not heated. They're just not heated. I think the pilots do get some heat off the vents, but other than that, you're a passenger in this thing. Now you're gonna freeze back. It's cold. So people bundle up. They bring lots of blankets with them, and they'll fly these people into some really, really remote areas. They use skis on these. They use floats on them. You can put spray, set it up for crop dusting. It's amazing the utility that this plane has and has had since the late 40s. We're slowly coming back on course. The hard part in this plane is trimming, trying to get her trimmed out. Could be a little cold with that window. The plane has workable lights. They have workable fans. You can turn these fans on. This window's open. This one slides. I don't know if this one opens or not. Yeah, it does. Window's short. Lever right here. This lever right here is the brakes. When I put on the brakes, you'll see. And pulls the lever back. Pretty low. Let me get back up. Wasn't paying attention. So for 2020, Microsoft flights in 2020, the one I'm using right now, as you can probably tell by looking at avatars, they don't have the kind of avatars in 2024. These are all name tags of planes that are up. Now, some of them are generic, but most of them are similars. So, just in this little area here, you can see there's quite a few that are out there. Having a good time in 2020, because it's working very well. For 2024, a different story. Different story. We're coming right down the peninsla, doing pretty good. Yeah, I wanted to say something about this airport here. There it is. That's Wallops Island Test Center, where they fire off rockets. They launch rockets from here, and a lot of them are NASA, but there's a few other private companies too that launch from here. But they do regular launches. I was always surprised how many are going off this location, and you can see them from Washington, D.C., Delaware, Maryland. You can actually see the rocket going up in the air from that distance. It's pretty cool. Kind of like the same thing with down in Florida. Wallops Island. Look that up on Google. They've got some pretty good information on it. See if the co-pilot, will not do anything crazy. Waterway off to your right is the Chesepeake Bay, up to the southern part, which would run down to Norfolk, down to the south over here, in front of the plane. Norfolk, Virginia, Langley Air Force Base, Oceana, Baywire Station, busy Navy place in Norfolk for sure. People down in this area here are really nice. They're good people. She's got it on course. Bad. The scenery's doing very well in 2020. I've gotten a couple mods, some tree mods that I did, which has helped out an awful lot. It's kind of averaged out the tree size. With the default trees, they kind of went overboard on them. So this mod here seems to have really smoothed out the lines, the fields, and the borders of the woods. It looks more true to me. Actually flying in this area in real planes. They just put trees where they weren't there, or they overdid it. But this mod seems to have really smoothed it out good. I like it. But anyway, there's no ticking going on with the scenery, no stutters. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. When you log on, I don't know if it's a server issue or what, but things will just look like doo-dah. Got very little image hopping going on here. It's pretty much clear in front of you. Don't see a whole lot of changing. Developers of this particular plane, they had to, I really have to give them kudos. There's probably quite a few people out there who've never seen one up close and personal. But this dash is incredible. They've got everything exactly where it is. Now, it's a challenge because everything is in Russian. If you didn't have it set so, you got the name identifier ADF mode selector, for example, I would have no friggin' idea what that thing means. I mean, look at this. Okay? And I am not good at reading Russian, that's for sure. Everything is in Russian, all the instruments. So it is pretty good that identify them with my tags. But the dashes, it is so spot on. It's incredible. The seats are actually in pretty good condition. Typically an AN-2, you would see the springs, the wire mesh springs in the seat are so worn out. A lot of people had bought these. How they got them, I don't know. We're able to get them over to the States. I would love to have one. I would really, really love to have one. But God knows what it would cost to hopefully get it flyable and inspected and all their certificates and things like that. I'm sure you could go with experimental if you had to, but there's a few here in the United States that done them up really well.
Foxtrot Victor traffic Lotus Oscar Kilo minus 964 miles northeast 900 feet inbound to land runway 21.
So we're heading right toward the airport. We'll see how she does. We'll let the AI land it. See if she can handle this big girl. As she's coming in, it gets slow enough. If she gets slow enough. Usually they get way too slow. But you'll hear the slats kick in. And that's because they're popping out forward. It's a definite sound that would probably scare you if you didn't know what it was. peninsula crosses that you can follow me to the airport. Kind of helps you sometimes when you're not quite sure where everything is or how to make the right approach into the airport. Upwind. I believe that's Route 13. North and south, of course, along the peninsula. Beautiful road to drive on. Really pretty countryside. We're turning downwind here pretty soon. Slats start popping, I'll try to get the camera over on so you can see how they extend. These slats here just pop forward, gives the wind much more wing area. She should start turning downwind. Look at the visibility of this plane. It's incredible. All the top windows on the top, look up and out. Pretty good. Go ahead and call downwind for her.
Kilo Mike Foxtrot Victor traffic Lotus Oscar Kilo -9 is on downwind runway 21.
There's the slats. You can see it extended out. Then if she brings the speed back in, or gets the proper pitch, the right pitch, that slat will go back in. There they go back in. And they'll do that all the way in. And she's adjusting the speed of the throttle. Those slats are going to come in and out. It's not manual. It's done automatically. She doesn't get too slow. The AIs have an issue with that. As I've said in many of my videos, using AIs, they can fly pretty daggone slow and right on the stall speed. And we are getting close to that. Okay, so I'll call her this leg.
Kilo Mike Foxtrot Victor Traffic Lotus Oscar, Kilo minus 9 or 6 is on base runway 21.
Of course, with any plane, especially a plane this size, you start getting slow like that in fishing. And you'll do that for a while until she gets everything smoothed out. But she's fishing right now. A little ways yet before we turn final. The airport over here where my mouse is. We'll go down here, turn left on the final. I can almost guarantee you the people on the ground or outside when this plane goes over the top of it, they would look up because they have a very distinctive, throaty, really heavy motor, throaty sound. In Accomack, it's not a very big location, but back in 2020 it was 526 people lived in this area. Or final for
Kilo Mike Foxtrot Victor Traffic Lotus Oscar Kilo minus 9 or 6 is on final runway 21 to land.
It's in Accomac County, Virginia. Elevation's 39 feet. Today it's been about 19 degrees. Cold. They call this the Pearl of Eastern Shore. It is. I've been through here. Really, really nice. Let me hear the slides start popping here. There they go. Going pretty good. Just a little low. Not too bad. flight. Now, 3 hours later, Russians, when they did their airplanes, all of their electronics is on single switches. There's very few bars. Less bars. Everything is individual. So troubleshooting for a lot of the electrical stuff would be fairly easy because you're not looking into a massive bulk of wire. It would be just easier to track down the switches and the issues. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that flight from Ocean City, Maryland to Accomac County, Virginia. If you're not flown this area, you should kind of fly over. It's nice, and it'll get you down to Norfolk, Virginia, which is good scenery because of the Navy shipyard down there, etc. All right, hope you enjoyed it. Talk to y'all later.